Warning, here be spoilers. And if you want the spoiler-free version, you best go somewhere else. What's the point of a spoiler-free review? That's just teasing. I'm gonna put you out of your misery straight away and say yes, this is the 5th best Star Wars movie ever made. I'm a fan of the first 3 movies, the prequels, but even I'll admit they don't hold a candle to 4, 5, and 6. In the Star Wars timeline, of course, it helps to think of this as episode 3.9, in that it comes sort of just before A New Hope. In truth, it's not an episode at all, rather an offshoot franchise, and an offshoot movie that explains a lot of the things that happens in 4. All those big questions like, where did the Death Star plans come from? Why would you build such a vulnerability in something so powerful? It's not perfect, but if episode 7 got an 8.5 for whatever reason, then this would have been 7.5. So it's not perfect, but there are a few reasons for this. Number 1, I felt like they were trying too hard in the beginning, like it was a fan film with a massive budget. The dialogue felt forced. It was cheesy, barely memorable. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Donnie Yen had the best lines in the movie. 3, the main protagonists are barely likable. Jin's like a wooden, abrasive version of Rey, and Cassian's like a poor man's Poe Dameron. But they get so much right. The grit, the musical score, the new droid, K2SO, love him. R2 and C-3PO's cameo, perhaps the most noteworthy accomplishment is the fact that the producers managed to resurrect so many stalwart characters for this movie. And I do mean resurrect. Peter Cushing has been dead for 22 frickin' years, yet there he was as Tarkin, the Grand Moff himself. He wasn't the only one. Young Princess Leia even makes a CG return right at the end. And what an ending. Darth Vader's last 2 minutes of screen time are like a horror movie. He's terrifying, like Jason or Freddy wielding the only lightsaber in the movie, just slicing up rebel scum. I have a thought about this CG thing, however. Okay, firstly, who gets paid? Who do they have to ask for permission? Legally, what the hell does all of this imply? But more so, it gave me some pleasure knowing that even with all the industrial might and money of Disney, they haven't quite replaced us. They haven't quite replaced people with graphics yet. You can still see that it's computer generated. Highly impressive, beautiful, almost infallible graphics ultimately. Overall, I loved it, and I want to defend the movie for something a lot of fans are slating it for. No, it didn't start with the mandatory Star Wars tech scroll. But it shouldn't. Those are reserved for official episodes of the great Star Wars space opera. Hey, notice how crap stormtroopers are at shooting their targets from episode 4 onwards? What if that's because Donnie Yen's character chewed now forever part of the Force, continues to force them to miss their shots for all of eternity? Rogue One is just one of many offshoot stories that Disney will continue to milk from its cash cow for our viewing pleasure, and I'm fine with that. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now for my girlfriend's opinion on Star Wars.
So, we watched the movie last night. Before I met Calvin, I didn't watch Star Wars. I didn't watch any of the movies. I watched all 6. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7. What they're doing lately with the strong female characters I really like. This one, I forget the name. I don't like her as much as I liked Rey in episode 7. But it really helps that I knew the rest of the story. I liked it. It was an action-packed Star Wars movie. I didn't know that that other guy was like CGI until Calvin said, and then I looked at him, I was like, you look a little bit like Dobby, who is also CGI, and now I can see it. Oh, it's hot under there. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So girls take your boyfriends, boyfriends take your girlfriends, unless they haven't watched the other movies and they're gonna ask you questions. Live long and prosper.